This ain't your granddaddy's 30-30. I've been calling this one the Space Cowboy because you can't hear the purest scream from orbit. Of course, we've taken this thing quite possibly too far. I know a lot of your blue and wood kind of guys are just going to say, nope, not for me. But the thing is we have built on all the strong points of the lever action. And everything you see here has been field tested. Matter of fact, this rifle has laid out 4 whitetails. This is my favorite one to carry out, period. I have to have a reason to leave this one at home. This year, basically, I wanted to get a whitetail with the Henry X 4570, and that took a priority. I had to get one with pig stick. That took a priority. So then, by that time, I had consumed all of my whitetail tags for doe for that unit, and I just got really picky. Now, I could have laid this thing multiple times on ugly bucks, but just chose not to. And season ran out. So this one didn't get any blood on it this year, but dadgummit, you better check me next year. I will get one. Now, I know you've been eyeballing this latest edition here. This is the mod stock from Ranger Point Precision. This fits the Marlin, the 336, the 1895, multiple other fitments there. It's got their M-LOK plate and the 6-round quiver. Now, I freaking love this thing. If you don't like it, I swear, I'd go get tested for the coof because the first sign is not having any taste. Now, let's get over here to the tailgate and give this thing a good look. So I have already removed this from the Marlin. YouTube gets funky about assembly and disassembly, and I don't want some purple-haired cubicle dweller to decide my fate over some very, very murky water rules. Of course, here's our factory stock. Factory stock is 1.5 pounds. And all this is just painted wood. That's all it is on the Marlin Dark. Now, this big aluminum piece here, I'm betting you're thinking it's pretty daggum heavy. Let's lay this down. 2 pounds. Hold up. Disregard what my cheap little scale said. A buddy of mine has got calibrated postal scales. I carried it over to his place, and that stock weighs 27 ounces. Do not allow my scale to make this thing look like it weighs 2 pounds. So completely disregard 27 ounces. Let's get back to the scheduled programming. We get the adjustability of it. We get QD. There's also a swivel here. So you can put a swivel stud with a regular sling on it. There's QD in the bottom of it as well. And then, of course, there's more M-LOK. So we are far more capable just off of that stock. And plus, it looks cool as crap, too. I really like the texturing they've got going on here. That actually fits really nicely when you grab hold of it. And these extra rounds are very conveniently located. Now, they do plan on making more accessories. And if you're left-handed, this plate right here comes out with those screws, those Allen screws. And this plate can go on the other side as well. Pretty cool stuff. Now, as for the adjustability of the stock, basically, right here, you have got 4 Allen set screws. These Allen set screws, the 4 of them, pretty much fight each other and keep this thing triangulated where you want it. Of course, when it came out of the box, it was angled down a little bit more. What is really cool about this is when you nest this in your shoulder, right here, that is setting the height of your optic. So technically, if you need to drop your optic down, you push your butt pad up. So that whole geometry of this thing changes the whole way this rifle settles. And of course, with this grip right here being solid, all the adjustment you're doing here, you're not messing with your lever gap or anything like that. It's actually a pretty cool setup. I really dig it. So boom, make sure it's zeroed. I'm sure that a lot of you wonder what the total weight of this thing is. 9 pounds, and the way that actually just ticked from 8.5 to 9 means it's just a little on the other side of 9 in my experience. So this is not bad considering we got this big chunky LPVO 8 magnification on here, and we've replaced so many of these parts with lots of aluminum. So 9 pounds just really isn't that bad. Now, over half of my life ago when I was cutting my teeth in firearms, I remember all the old guys were saying 30-30 is a 75 yard max cartridge. No, not today, man. Not with this. I would take a whitetail all the way out to 200 yards comfortably. I definitely love to push it maybe to 2 1/4, but I think that's going to be about the end of it. But I know that I have taken them from 140 to 185 with this, and I can land hits at 200 very easily. With Uncle Sniffy and the gun control lobby working overtime to strip our constitutional rights, I hope you will get involved with our friends at the National Association of Gun Rights. The National Association for Gun Rights, backed by more than 4.5 million members and supporters, is a grassroots-led, no-compromise gun rights organization fighting to restore your rights at all levels of government. In 2021, the National Association for Gun Rights led the fight to pass constitutional carry in 5 states: Utah, Montana, Tennessee, Iowa, and Texas. In D.C., they're holding the line against red flag gun confiscation, stopping bans on rifles and handguns, and they're our kind of people. They're sponsoring this video and they're giving away a freaking tank. Go check it out in the link in the description below. You'll see it down there. It says heavy metal giveaway. You know, I've had my hands on this stock for several days, and literally I was today years old when I realized what this cushioning is. You see the RP right there, the outline of that RP, of course, Ranger Point Precision. It's everywhere on this rifle. There's even a tiny one right there. But I was today years old when I realized that this is nothing but a whole bunch of little RPs stacked up and down inside of each other for that cushion. That is a pretty neat little feature. As for my sling setup, this is a Magpul MS1. That MS1 is pretty daggum neat. Right here, you can slide this out to make it go around you and then suck it in real tight so that it stores nicely on the rifle. Of course, it is QD, and that QD corresponds with the QDs that are on my rail and stock. So let's go ahead and install this. This Magpul is a little tricky, but I like that because I don't want my sling to accidentally come off. And simply enough, if you're not familiar with QD, you likely are, you just push it right into that little cup. There's a round cup just like this that corresponds right here on the side. And boom, there we go. That is a nice little sling. I really like how that fits. Now that I've got it right, I can cut that little tail piece right there off and make this thing look so much better. But yeah, that just tucks really nicely. They're right there on the side. And then when I need more room for me, boom, I can fit in there. And of course, if I wanted to carry this over my shoulder, I could put that here, take this there and put it here. And then there's another one right there. Boom. So that would just be your traditional over the shoulder. I'm kind of liking this on the side. Now, as for the action parts, now this thing has slicked up really nicely. I got in there one day, messed around with it. See how slick that is? Now, what I have done, the first factory trigger was atrocious. The trigger that came in this was really bad. It was crunchy. It broke above 7 pounds. I've got this right here. This is the Ranger Point Precision. This is their Marlin trigger, and it takes the Marlin flop out of it. You know, it still flops, but they've spring-loaded it to where it pulls the trigger back. So you no longer have that Marlin flop. And now I have been told in the comment section a whole bunch of times, this takedown screw is everything a lever action never knew that it needed, or something like that. I'm just paraphrasing it. The thing is, man, every time I mess with this thing, if I take the optic off or something like that, to save ammo right there on the range, I can just twist this out, take this lever out, take the bolt out, bore sight this, dial my optic in, and boom, I'm saving ammo so easily. This little screw, that takedown screw, as far as I'm concerned, it has been worth its weight in the stainless it's made of. Very neat. Of course, right here, I have used the safety delete. There is a crossbar safety delete that comes factory in these Marlins. This thing is the plug that gets rid of it, and I freaking love it. I get comments in the comment section, why did you remove the safety? Well, simply enough, that's safe. If you're that worried about it, don't have one in the chamber. It's really easy. So this is safe, not safe. Unchambered, chambered, doesn't matter. Now, as for getting the ammo in here, I've got their light and loading gate. That light and loading gate is really nice. Basically, when I go to unload this thing, I can give her a little push, nudge that round up, and pop it out. I don't have to actually run everything through the action. And now on muzzle duty, I have the Hybrid 46 from Silencer Co. Of course, when this is not installed on here, I keep the Ranger Point Precision Comet muzzle brake. That Comet muzzle brake does a really good job of taming what little recoil this 30-30 actually has, but I definitely do prefer the Silencer Co. Hybrid 46. I wouldn't shoot it without hearing protection all day, but for a few rounds, you know, plinking, target practice, hunting, this right here is just fine. I've never experienced any threshold hearing or anything like that, except for the one time I kind of didn't quite get the thing all the way out of the blind. When I didn't get the muzzle all the way out of the blind, that was my fault. And man, my ears, they got at me for maybe 30 minutes. It wasn't really bad, but yeah, we just have to make sure to poke this thing straight out the window. Now, this season, a buddy of mine was making fun of me for having the 6-round carrier on my 45-70. I've got it mounted up front here. And he asked me, he said, you want to take all 13 rounds with you to go hunting? And normally I only have 2. I'll have one in the chamber and then one just in case I need a follow-up shot. I'm not a fan of follow-up shots. Make one good shot, call it a day. But I always keep a second round just for that. But now I had the quiver full. I had 6 rounds in it, one in the chamber and one in the tube. And this horse's rear end of a hunter, if he fired 1 round, he fired 10. And one day he decided to come down there and get confrontational on me. And I didn't have a sling on my rifle. So here I was holding this rifle in my hands. And dude was down there being a horse's rear end. That tells me that he is stupid enough to die for whatever he's mad about at that moment. Because he's sitting in his little Toyota truck. I'm not making fun of a Toyota, but the 45-70 that I was carrying that day would go straight through both doors, straight through him, and still come out the back with 800 foot-pounds of energy. He had a false sense of confidence that he could run his mouth. But now, with that being said, I'm not going to say that I would take a fellow hunter's life. I'm just saying, had he chosen to escalate things, I feel much better having more than just 2 rounds in here. Because at that moment, out there on the farm, there is no 911. There's no cell service. You can't holler for anybody. You are your first responder, your own first responder, because nobody's coming to save you. All right, the sun is finding the tree line. It is time for me to take the old Space Cowboy home, tuck it away nicely and safely in the safe, get ready for some more adventures. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have, please consider subscribing. Also, hit that thumbs up. Leave me an awesome comment. I try to get to most comments. Some days are a little busier than others, but hopefully we can get down there and mingle with you in the comment section. But y'all have a wonderful day. We'll see you next video. I love you.